Ariel Helwani in Rio de Janeiro alongside UFC President Dana White gearing up for UFC 134, which goes down this Saturday night live on pay-per-view. And Dana, thank you for the time. I know you just got to Rio, but you've been here before. What's it been like the last few hours here thus far?
It's been good. I landed, went to the gym, and came and did the press conference.
Wow, what an experience.
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been fantastic. Now, the weather's great here. I heard it's been rainy before I got here, so I'm happy to see the sun, and I'm pumped up for Saturday. This thing's sold out. Anytime you go into a new market, it's really exciting, and the people down here are going crazy, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Has coming here always been atop your wish list? I know there was an event in 1998, but you weren't a part of the UFC. Zuffa didn't own the UFC. So has this always been something that you wanted to do?
Yeah. I mean, anytime when we go into any of the major cities, but to come down here to Brazil where, I feel this is where it all started with the Gracie family and as many great Brazilian fighters that have come out of this country. And it's cool to bring it down here, especially to Rio for our first fight.
Now, you said a couple of months ago that you were a little surprised at how the mainstream media in Brazil didn't know that much about MMA, but being here the last couple of days, in terms of the number of media here, very impressive, a lot more than the United States, and it seems as though they're kind of well-versed. So what about their knowledge of the sport surprised you?
It's turned around real quick, let me tell you. It's guys have, listen, the American media needs to take notes here. How fast these guys have turned around and how much media there is and how they've educated themselves on the sport. Obviously what they've looked at here in Brazil is this thing is getting big and, there's obviously a lot of people that are into it. It's very popular. Maybe we should learn about this sport. All right, maybe we should dive in and learn about it and figure out who the fighters are and what's going to happen. I wish the American media would do the same.
Speaking of meteoric rise, it seems, at least to me, and I want to get your take on this, ever since Anderson beat Vitor, here in Brazil, his stock has just gone up exponentially. He's got a Burger King sponsorship, a Nike sponsorship, soccer clubs. Have you noticed that?
No doubt about it. That when people said that when Anderson and Vitor fought down here, the whole country stopped. It was like World Cup type thing, and everybody was watching, and it was a big deal. So yeah, beating him the way that he did just put Anderson over huge down here.
You've been banging the Anderson as the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world drum for a long time. It feels, at least to me, that the MMA community has finally accepted this. The mainstream media has accepted this. Why do you think that is only now?
Yeah, because they're dummies, man. It always takes them a little while to catch on. I don't know how many guys he has to beat in incredible ways for people to realize it. And I think that to be honest with you too, I think that the Abu Dhabi fight didn't help. That Abu Dhabi fight was weird because everybody was on the Anderson bandwagon, and when that thing happened, I think he lost a lot of fans, and people are coming back around after his last two fights. The Chael Sonnen fight, and then the Vitor Belfort fight. I just don't know. And if you look at this guy's career and what he's done and all the records he's broken, you just got to be a hater or out of your mind not to believe that this guy's not the pound for pound or the best ever.
Has he talked to you about retirement recently?
He hasn't. No, he hasn't talked about retiring. But it's, you asked that question today at the conference, and what a lot of people don't realize about Anderson because of how talented he is. And this guy's 36 years old, going on 37. And to still do the things that he does, it's amazing. Imagine if Anderson was 26 and I don't know, it's amazing.
Now, there is some talk that if he wins, maybe in quick fashion, that he'll main event the Fox show in November. Is that true?
Yeah, it's not true. I saw that rumor too yesterday. I was cruising around on the internet and saw that. It's not true.
So even if he wins quickly, he's not considered for that show?
If he goes out and wins in 13 seconds, he's not considered for the Fox show, no.
Who will be the main event of that show?
I'm working on it right now.
Anything you want to tell us about it?
No, I can't. You know me. I have to get the deal done, and I have to know that both guys are going to accept the fight. Plus, saying that, even though I say that he won't fight on the Fox card, I'm watching what happens this weekend before I decide who's going to fight on Fox.
What was the thinking in terms of putting Forrest and Shogun together again? Forrest had that moment. It's almost like, why ruin the moment? It was such a great moment for him. What does he have to gain from fighting Shogun again? So what were you thinking when you put that fight together?
Well, what he has to gain is they're two of the best light heavyweights in the world, and they both want to get back into that title picture. And he's got to beat Shogun to do it. I mean, Shogun was just a champion. Forrest beat him, but Shogun just lost his title, and it's a big fight for Forrest.
And then in terms of the heavyweight fight, Brendan Schaub, Nogueira. Nogueira hasn't fought in a little less than 2 years. I mean, it's been a while for him, 3 surgeries, and he's been through so many wars. What are you expecting to see from him on Saturday?
Let me tell you what, I don't know if you noticed when you got here, but the first thing I noticed when I walked in today and started saying hi to everybody, all these guys are in incredible shape. Nogueira looks better than I've seen him in years, and he was telling me that, since he's had the surgery on his hips, he's never felt better. He's not in pain like he used to be. Shogun, they said he hasn't been in this kind of shape since Chuck Liddell. Forrest looks good. Forrest said he's just a few pounds. He'll cut the weight tonight. Shogun's already on weight right now for the fight. Okami looks unbelievable. And Anderson always looks good, and Schaub too is lean and ripped. I think he said he's about 240 right now, and Nogueira's 242. So everybody's in great shape. I expect some great fights on Saturday night.
And I know you said you just want to talk about Rio, but are you really considering a fight in a 100,000 seat stadium?
We should have done this one. We should have done this one in a bigger stadium.
You think you could have filled it up for the first event?
I do.
So is that sort of on the calendar for next year?
Yeah, we will. We'll be back down here, and we'll do a soccer stadium.
All right, and just curious, Chael Sonnen isn't coming after all. After all he said about Brazil, does that surprise you?
I think that's a great idea. It's actually the most sensible thing I've heard him say in the last 2 months. I mean, I don't even know how the guy gets into Brazil. I don't even know how he can walk around and he was part of his camp, Yushin's camp down here. He's nuts, man. He's crazy.
Do you enjoy the talk, or do you think he's crossed the line a bit?
He is who he is. Listen, I don't tell guys who to be and how to talk and what to do. If you do cross the line and you get crazy, yes, then I will. But Chael Sonnen, some of the stuff he says is nutty as hell, but he is who he is. It is what it is.